Good morning. The murder of a married woman is subjected to variation of facts. Sometimes a suicide attempt also been converted as murder or dowry death, etc. at the instance of the relatives of the deceased wife. So the courts are very careful in appreciating the evidence because the person sustaining assault by her husband or in-laws subsequently succumbed to injuries. There may not be any eyewitness unless children or others are present inside the scene of occurrence. Therefore, it is very difficult for the court to decide the issues if there. Therefore, the investigating officer always try to implant by fabricating evidence like suicidal note and dying declaration. So there are multi-number of judgments about dying declaration. Here is another case by Supreme Court verdict about dying declaration. The Supreme Court has held AR 2021 Supreme Court 1605 Naresh Kumar versus Kalavati and others. 498A 302 read with 34. Evidence Act Section 32 and 3 cruelty and murder, dying declaration, reliability, accused person, husband and sister-in-law of deceased allegedly set deceased on fire causing her death. The deceased, though married to accused husband about 1.5 years ago, was unable to conceive. She suspected promiscuous relationship between accused persons. Probable defense taken that she committed suicide out of frustration. Statement of deceased victim have vacillated. No evidence about fitness of mind of deceased to make dying declaration, including presence of doctor. Veracity and truthfulness of dying remains suspect. Probable defense of suicide cannot be rejected. Acquittal proper. This was the case. The Supreme Court has stated first statement of the deceased made to PW 13 is based on hearsay as deposed by PW 20 that she was set on fire by respondent number 2. There is no reference to respondent number 1 in this statement, neither has she said anything about dowry demand. The next statement of the deceased blaming respondent 1 alone does not name respondent 1. It is not signed by anybody and the doctor who recorded statement has not been examined. Merely because his signature has been identified PW 19 cannot establish correctness of its contents. The next statement of deceased has been recorded by PW 25 blaming respondent number 1 alone without any allegation against the respondent number 2. On the contrary, state that she was brought to the hospital by respondent number 2. It again does not disclose any dowry demand. Therefore, due to these inconsistent statements, the Supreme Court has acquitted. So here, the defense counsel seems to have very politely and intellectually conducted a trial and got acquitted. Therefore, keep this judgment on file and record. It will help you. I would like to discuss something about you. Apart from necessities of food, medicines, the government should concentrate on other necessities which directly or indirectly pertaining to survival and hygienic. Sometimes what happens, this restroom may create some problems like leakage of pipes, damage of lavatory fittings. If that was not properly attended to, there is possibility of emanating and other communicable spread of smell, virus, whatnot. So the government should allow under those circumstances with the permission of nearby corporation authorities. These should be allowed to be attended during the lockdown. Then next question arises about light fusing of bulbs. If suppose bulbs are fused inside the latrine and bathroom, that man could not replace it. There is possibility of again problems related to hygienic. So like that, suppose water tank, motor pump is not functioning. If water is not available, no man can live normal and hygienic and decent life as guaranteed under Article 21. So I request this government and other social organizations to invite the attention of this government to make provisions if 100% lockdown are imposed, so that these emergency things are attended. Not do not always concentrate that medicine, food alone. These things are also necessary. Best wishes.